54 years ago, in 1967, when he had finished senior 6, and in his long work, he came to teach in our school, in Burunga Primary School. Burunga Primary School is 81 kilometers from Barara, 81 miles. It's very far from Barara, a very remote school, but the best school in the world. So he came to teach there, and I saw him in class, a very young and proud teacher who loved himself. But the real first encounter where I had a closer relationship with him is I had visited a friend. And this story is very important because it up to now amazes me. I had visited a friend, and then he came to visit that friend also. He came during the day, we watered the cows, and then I saw this man, he came with his own handbag in which he had a towel, he had a soap, he had slippers, he had what do you call it, a sponge. Now when we finished watering the cows, he went on the side and bathed. You know, for us, when we were in that days, when we were going to visit, you just go. You don't carry anything. But here is this man who is so careful. And so that was the first I watched. I said, this man is very, very careful. So we went home. Then in the evening, after milking the cows in the night, we sat around the fire. You people, it is very interesting. Thank you for asking this question. Because I can't believe the foresight. I can't believe the amount at that time when he had just finished university. What he's teaching now, what I remember about him is his household income teaching that night. As early as 1967, when he had finished senior 6. He was telling this man where we had slept, he was telling him that you get a quarter of an acre, grow bananas. In our area they call it ndunde. A quarter of an acre is ndunde. He's now talking of 1 acre this, 1 acre that, but that he was saying, get out of this nomadism. Have half a quarter an acre ndunde of bananas. Have quarter an acre of cassava. Have quarter an acre of beans or ground nuts. And to ensure that there is food. Consider there is food for the family, and then stop nomadism. He was telling this old man, well, not very old, was not yet very old. He was telling him, start fencing your land. You know, he advised him that for you in that area, because for him he was coming from Kashari where there were no many trees, but in our area we have very many acacia trees called Ngando. He was saying, you fence your land, you can even fence on the natural trees, so that you have a stable and settled farm. You don't have to suffer from everybody grazing your land and you grazing and having to shift and all that. As early as 1967, when he was in his early 20s. You can imagine that in his 20s, he was already teaching about household income. That was that night gave me an impression of somebody I hadn't seen anywhere else. And that's what led me. Of course, I am glad that he taught me well and I passed P7 with my other teachers and went to other schools. And when I had finished university and I was teaching in Kitunga High School, and I had become a head of the art department of that school. When the war broke out, I did not hesitate. Of course, I would be hearing how the forces they were organizing to fight Amin and how they tried in 72 and how we were following those. But at this time, when I heard that he was leading one of the forces from NASA, which came alongside the Tanzanian forces, I said, me, I will go to support him and the others. Even if I did not go to join the armed forces, me, I went to give whatever help that would remove Idi Amin. Any help. Now, of course, even if you are going to cook in a war, when you go, they must take you to a training school. So as soon as we landed, they say you must go for the training. And I can tell you, the training we got first in the Fronasa training school, in a place in Mbala called Kakoba, was transforming. It transformed my mind because it was for the first time teaching me about the history of Uganda more than ever before. I had finished university, I had studied, I had done a degree, I had done a diploma in education, but I had not understood the history of Uganda, the political challenges, as I did when we went for this training. And of course, his own guidance. And that's what led one thing after another. We finished and won the 79 war, we removed Idi Amin, and then we had to go to Monduli for officer cadet course and come back and join the UNLA, Uganda National Liberation Army, as officers. I was an instructor in Masindi. And then we started our political awareness had gone. So really, the first meeting was that one, but which is connected to now. I have listened to this president for so many years. From that day, and since we started in 79, each day he goes to speak, he's always adding value, even the same topic. So I can tell you that Uganda is lucky to have had a teacher, somebody who is so deep in politics, in economics, in analysis, and that's what has made us succeed. He has been one of our great leaders, and Africa really is lucky to have somebody with such a memory. He has a wonderful memory. He remembers a lot of things. And therefore, I want to say that I'm glad that now, I'm not surprised that he has been re-elected again. Ugandans would have missed him, because I don't think there is anybody who has devoted his life, who has committed his life for his country than Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and whom I have watched, whom I have followed, whom I have worked with, and who has nothing else but the love of his country. And therefore, him swearing in for another term, to me, is a gift for Ugandans to take advantage of his experience, to take advantage of his tested, proven performance, to take advantage of the steady progress he has led this country in the 35 years.